What's up, guys, from the MLG studios here in the beautiful New York City, where we're going to have a live event next week, round of 16 Premier League. Right now, we're watching the Challenger League before we get into the last match of the night. Full Sail University, the official education partner of MLG. If you're into graphic design, video game design, video game production, stuff like that, check out fullsail.edu/MLG and see what they have to offer. They'll have you fill in some information about yourself, and then they'll send some information back at you, and you can find out if Full Sail is the right place for you. And a lot of people watching might have just graduated high school, because we're in the month of May, and now you're probably looking for a college destination. However, you should probably do that stuff in your junior year of high school.
Well, maybe you're in your junior year. You're
That's
finishing
true.
your junior year.
Maybe you're doing that. So when you're looking for the next step, definitely check that out. But we're currently watching the Challenger League, and this is what has happened so far today. DeMuslim versus Maker started off the night. DeMuslim taking the 2-1. He's going to advance on to the next round of the bracket stage of the Challenger League. Illusion taking a convincing 2-0 over Max Said. Very nifty builds involved, using lots of Hellmats. Really fun to watch. Minigun falling 1-2 to Ian. Of course, Ian, the Taiwanese player from Yo Ironman. He'll be advanced to the next round of the bracket stage of Challenger League. Of course, all the losers drop down to the group stage of Challenger League, so they're not out of Challenger League just yet. Of course, Killer versus Top is going to be the next series of the night. A PVZ once again. Killer, we'll start with him from Clarity Gaming. In my opinion, one of the most underrated Zerg players. He actually won his first match in the Premier League. I think it was against Alive.
Yes, he won 2-1 over Alive. I mean, if you don't know who Alive is, you turn on and watch him. STARCRAFT guys. They're one of the ace players for Team EG, a Terran player. Used to play for Fnatic and other teams over in Korea, so extremely strong Korean Terran. Killer took him out in the first series. Unfortunately, lost in that final match to Alive. Alive got his revenge. But he's insanely good. He's like this South American champion pretty much for that region of the globe. He's also currently living in New York. Over in Long Island at the Clarity House. About 3 hours away from us or so. Maybe only 2 hours. I don't know. But awesome house there, and he's been training with a lot of great players in that environment. And I think it's been showing. He's been playing great. I mean, actually, Killer has never not been playing great StarCraft. So he's just an amazing player. He's up against Top.
Yes.
Top is one of the top guys from China.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, pretty clever. I think he got third in WCS China 2012.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I think Calm got first. Top, I believe, got third place in that tournament. So one of the very best players from that region as well. But honestly, I haven't seen him play very much quite yet. So I'm excited to see him in action. Of course, I saw a couple of his games when he was trying to qualify for the Challenger League. He's the guy who qualified in. Killer, the guy who dropped down from the Premier League. They're at it in a best of 3 to see who will advance to round 2 of the Challenger League bracket. First map is going to be on Belshir Vestige. And
the players have said they're ready in the lobby. Again, we're live right now, guys, which means you should be tweeting right now. Hashtag WCS, and you'll see your tweets. Scroll along the bottom of our screen during the games, and scroll along the top of your screens in our breaks. That being said, what's up?
There's a lot of jungle on this map. I'm just looking at the map, and it's a lot of trees.
Whoever maintains this area is, well, it might be a natural thing.
Yeah, it looks kind of wild.
Yeah, you're right.
This is where you would not want to face like the Primal Zerg if you guys play the campaign. They seem to do well in the wild.
Spoilers, man.
I'm building Cyber for the campaign. I haven't said anything is going to happen there. Of course, our first player on this map.
Yep.
At the bottom right location, we have Team Clarity's Red Zerg Killer. And his opponent from China, the blue Protoss in the top left. Top. Building his first pylon directly behind his minerals. Of course, that location meant he literally lost like half a mineral of mining time, taking that probe out to build the pylon. So extremely efficient in the opening, as far as just making sure every worker does as much as it can do. Definitely wants to get the most out of those early probes.
Should be interesting to see what Top does here. Again, we're talking about the dynamic of differences in metagame between the Chinese, Taiwanese scene and the rest of the world. Killer can't come into this match knowing what to expect, but a lot of Top's play has been seen, as he did what was a qualifier for this tournament. So perhaps Killer did some studying there. But Killer's the kind of guy who loves being all around the map. Very high multitasking ability.
Killer is one of the most versatile players.
Yeah.
And you know what's insane is in his match against Alive, how good he was at playing from weird positions in a game. Like, if the game went at all crazy and out of the ordinary, I believe it was eBay block, I think, in game 1 of their series. Killer was absolutely, he's like, whatever, I'll just take it. I'll take a different hatchery.
Yeah, I remember that. He took the third and then did like a roach timing.
Yeah, and he's like, you're trying to throw me off my game, mess up my build order. And that's something a lot of players do to Zerg players, because Zerg players have this specific cadence to how they build drones, how they hit injects. And if you throw a Zerg off a little bit in their timings, it can really mess with their ability to continue to macro well, because they macro off of a rhythm. But Killer's a guy who says, you can disrupt my rhythm, I'll make a new one on a split second, and he'll still just play a beautiful game from almost any position. I've been really impressed with his ability to adapt to circumstances. I mean, I've been impressed with actually a lot of his play, but that in particular. And he's going hatchery first, which is a very strong response to a gateway opening because they don't have the probe to block the hatchery. And of course, they can't cannon rush you out there because they have no forge. So, anticipating the gateway expand and going hatchery first, and followed by gas, so he'll have speedlings out fast as well.
Top investing a lot into one base here, getting the gateway, Saber Core, Mothership Core, and the Nexus is down. But obviously not going to be as fast as that 15 Nexus, so this does imply he might try to do a little bit of pressure in the beginning, but not getting a Zealot out, not getting a Stalker, going for a Sentry first. Of course, it's important to get the Sentries out as fast as possible so you can start accumulating that energy for Force Fields, for Hallucinate. Of course, Hallucinate, one of the most important utilities of PvZ nowadays. Sending those hallucinated phoenixes across the map to scout what your Zerg opponent is doing, to try to predict what kind of tech switches are happening.
So Killer is keeping one drone on gas, even after starting speed. Because something I've seen, some Zergs do it, but I think more Zergs tend to either keep them all on gas and go for 2 base layer tech, or they will just take them all off gas, get 3 bases, drone up, and then put some drones back on gas once they hit 40 to 50 supply. So Killer doing things a little bit differently, keeping a little bit of gas income. Probably has his build timed out, like that's when I want to start my layer tech, is when I get 100 gas, if I have 1 drone on gas after I start the speed. Oh, Overlord, Mothership Core spotting the high ground Overlord. Under fire from these sentries. You know what I love about Top, though?
What?
A lot of players would have brought that second sentry out to try to kill the Overlord, and he might have been able to kill it if he did so. But Top saying, you know what? I haven't scouted yet this game. There's my opponent could have like 30 speedlings, and he's waiting for me to move out of position.
Yeah.
And of course, he can still block with a force field, but you never want to be in a position where against speedlings hit the force field like a millisecond late. And like even 6 speedlings getting your base when all you have is 2 sentries can actually start to be a problem.
A pretty fast robo and an immortal actually being made. Of course, Killer sees all of this.
You know,
he can't know it's an immortal, but
this actually looks exactly like my mind blanked on a Protoss player who does these builds.
Parting?
No. The guy Tails. This looks like a Tails build.
Ah.
Tails does this one exact same opening, 2 immortals, then a warp prism, and then he just warps in a ton of zealots all off 2 gas, and that's exactly what it looks like happening. More gateways being built by the Protoss player. So as soon as he gets that second immortal out, he's going to get the warp prism. He's going to move out and just try to put on insane amounts of pressure with massive zealot warp-ins and sentry immortal. And I mean, he might be 1 or 2 stalkers mixed in with me, primarily zealots, given the fact that he wants to attack so fast that he skips the 3rd and 4th gas. So this hits faster than your old school partying 2-base immortal.
Sure.
And the way it can hit faster while still having 2 immortals and a warp prism is because with the gateway expand, you can build that robotics facility earlier than you would be able to build it off of a forge expand. So of course it's a weaker economy, less gas income. Overseer's in the base. He saw the immortals, and he saw the fact there's no 3rd and 4th gas. So Killer should know exactly what he's dealing with. He's going for infestation pit. If he can get Swarm hosts out, I mean, in decent number, he just wins. But I don't think he'll have time to do that, so he's going to have to rely on roaches to defend in the meantime.
Roach speed is about halfway done, getting a lot of lings on the field, pretty much making nothing but units at this point. But Top is already like across the map. Killer hasn't been able to do anything to delay this push, which is very important because the longer you can delay this, the more units you can get out to defend this, and of course, the faster your tech proceeds.
Top is deep on the creep though, and he gets ambushed at the top of the ramp.
Gosh, 1 sentry getting killed. I think Top wasn't watching for a split second there. And the Time Warp went down some force fields, but a little too late. I think 2 sentries were taken out.
2 sentries. So yeah, this is devastating, and this is why you always have that Mothership Core ahead, because you can't see uphill.
Yeah.
So even if you're very fast at reacting, he didn't actually see the units until they were already attacking the sentries. So even if he reacted instantly with force fields, he still had actually lost at least 1 sentry, if not 2. And it would have been a very uncomfortable position. And so I just didn't think he anticipated that.
Drones being pulled here for Killer. He's going to try to cut this off the link, trying to go for a flank there. Decent force fields here from top. Warping in more and more units, more Zealots coming forward, more Stalkers as well. The 2 Immortals are still alive, so top not doing a terrible job so far, but what Killer is gaining is time here. He's keeping his opponent away from the snap. 2 Spine Crawlers able to finish. The Queen's getting in on the action. The one with the most energy is actually going to be taken out first, which means no transfusions available. Nice micro here on this on these Immortals. Trying to keep those alive, but the Warp Prism getting targeted down and killed.
Oh, great heads-up play by Killer, focusing that Warp Prism. That's the thing that this attack is based around. That now in the Warp Prism, the Roaches are going to absolutely overrun him, even bringing in the drones, knowing that he can afford to lose them.
And I think he was like mineral walking across the map to make that surround happen. Really cool play here from Killer. Ling swarming in here as well, and this should be it. There's the GG from top, and Killer takes game number 1, correctly identifying exactly what his opponent was doing, and then of course reacting pretty much perfectly to fend it off.
No sweat at all.
Yeah.
How about them with that? And you know what's cool is the Overseer Scout saw it all in time, and it was based on the layer time he did. You know what is also impressive? He pulled the drones right here. How often do you see a player pull the drones before they're already dead?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I can afford to lose 10, 15 drones if I break this attack. I'll total map control. I can just build 50 drones in a row, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's the drones are less important than the Roaches actually here, because the Roaches are the ones that do the damage. It's weird. You'd rather have the drones tank. And he made a decision very early on, and so his Roach Force stayed alive a lot longer than you think it would, was able to pick off those Immortals. Great execution of defense by Killer there.
Also, targeting down the Warp Prism with the Queens is like super important, just like trying to take down the medevac when your opponent's Hellbat dropping you. You know, but even more so, because you know, PvZ in a push like that, your Warp Prism, that's how you're warping stuff in across the map. That's how you're keeping your Immortals, you're preserving their lives by picking them up into that Warp Prism. So Killer did a great job targeting that down, taking it out, pulling those drones, holding off the 2 base all in. So Killer is going to take game number 1 of this best of 3. Can he close out the series and win the next game as we close out the night, or can top even up the series and send it to a game 3? Guys, we'll find out after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.